This is Lenny the Lawyer Live, and our topic today is what does FEAR, F-E-A-R, stand for? I'm going to explain to you about FEAR and how it deals with bankruptcy. But remember, before we get started, this is not legal advice. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This is information, not legal advice. With that disclaimer being out of the way, the acronym FEAR is often interpreted in different ways, but one of the most common interpretations of FEAR is false evidence appearing real. That phrase suggests that our fears are often based on a lack of knowledge or preconceived notions as to what something actually is. Fear has no rational basis to reality. Now, most people fear bankruptcy because they don't understand it. So let's see how fear really applies to bankruptcy. The first myth I'd like to discuss about bankruptcy is that you'll lose all your assets, and especially your retirement income and your house. That's simply not true. When you file for bankruptcy under Section 362 of the United States Bankruptcy Code, that is the automatic stay provision. That means any lawsuits in progress against you are immediately halted. Any wage garnishment is automatically stopped, and the bankruptcy protects you. You don't lose your assets. You have exemptions under federal law. And if you don't own a house, you can use a wild card exemption to cover those things that would not otherwise be covered. The value of all your personal property in a bankruptcy is what it's worth used, and your retirement accounts are specifically exempt from creditors' claims. Now, if you have a house and you're behind on your loan payments, bankruptcy is your best friend. Contrary to what you may have heard from people who don't know what's going on and who are not like me in the trenches every day, bankruptcy can enable you to save your home from foreclosure. One time I had a client that came in late to my office. They quickly filled out the bankruptcy forms, and I raced to the sheriff's office in Elizabeth with the filed petition, and 3 minutes before the sheriff's sale, I was able to stop that sheriff's sale, and they were able to save their home. The way the process works is when you file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you're making a plan payment to the trustee, and you're making a mortgage payment to the mortgage company. If you're approved for the bankruptcy mortgage modification program, which most people will be, you will be able to make 3 to 6 trial payments to the mortgage lender. And if you're approved for a permanent modification, you will receive a 40-year mortgage at prevailing rates, which are likely to go down since the Fed is supposed to lower rates according to rumors at their next meeting. Now, myth number 2 is bankruptcy will only hurt you, not help you. Nothing could be further from the truth. Bankruptcy is your best friend. It's going to eliminate your stress, your high blood pressure is going to be lower, your chances of having a heart attack, therefore, would be lower. Also, the thing you have to realize is bankruptcy is recognized by every major religion, and it's going to give you a fresh start. You don't have to worry. A lot of people are worried about bankruptcy, but it's recognized by every major religion, and it's your right under federal law. Now, another myth is that bankruptcy will help. Because of filing for bankruptcy, you will lose your job. That's not true either. Under Section 542 of the Bankruptcy Code, nobody can discriminate against you in terms of employment or anything else. I've filed bankruptcy for other attorneys, for various licensed professionals, and as long as they tell their compliance department, they don't lose anything. That's right, they didn't lose anything. They were able to keep their job because of Section 542 of the Bankruptcy Code, and they were able to eliminate their problems. Another fear that people have is that bankruptcy is public record and therefore their family and friends will be able to find out. Well, it is true that bankruptcy is public record, but I want you to know that unless somebody really goes looking and runs a full background check on you, the chances of them finding out that you filed for bankruptcy are pretty slim. So you have nothing to be ashamed about. Yes, you were a victim of the economy, and that's probably why you filed for bankruptcy. Now, if you went out and you gambled away all your money, or you spent it on alcohol, that's a different story. But I'm not here to judge you. If you notice, I'm not wearing a black robe. Another myth is that bankruptcy won't be able to stop your creditors from harassing you. That's not true at all. Because if they continue to harass you after they've been given notice that you filed for bankruptcy, they'll be given notice by the court and by me if necessary, and I will tell them that if they do not stop harassing you, I'm going to file a complaint under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act for each time they've harassed you. When you retain my services, you will give your creditors my office phone number, 973-798-6131. And then you will tell your creditors to call me. When they call me, I don't know who's at the other end of the phone. My job is to protect you. So therefore, I'm going to tell your creditors when they call me and ask if I represent you, I'm going to tell them that if they think I represent you, this is the physical address of my firm, you need to send me something in writing. Now, most of these people are collectors. They work on a commission basis. They will tell you anything and everything to separate you from your money. Once you've told them that I represent you, no matter what they say when they call again, just hang up the phone and ignore it. Now, a lot of people I've heard come into my office and they say, oh, my friend went through this and they lost that, or other stories, and it's not true. Every bankruptcy case is unique. What your friend did or what they're telling you or not telling you is not necessarily a complete story. That's why you need a bankruptcy attorney. There are many sources of bankruptcy law, and many factors go into a bankruptcy. So your friend's experience doesn't necessarily have anything to do with yours, especially if it wasn't recent. Many people also think that bankruptcy is a sign that you're a failure. No, you're not a failure. Bankruptcy is a sign that the economy has overwhelmed you for one reason or another. Maybe you lost your job and you couldn't find comparable employment. These days, AI, artificial intelligence, is replacing a lot of jobs, and there have been a lot of mergers, and the mainstream media doesn't realize how many people have actually lost their jobs. So while there may be net gains in jobs overall as a result of a lot of mergers and acquisitions, people have lost jobs. And what matters is not what the overall economy is. What matters is your economy. And I'm here to help you. And I'm here to tell you, by filing for bankruptcy, you're not stating that you're a failure. You're taking responsibility for your situation and you're making it better. When I file for bankruptcy for you, the process takes 4 to 6 months, start to finish. If you have easy pass fines and penalties, it'll take about a month to get your registration restored, and I will provide proof to the Director of Motor Vehicles in your state indicating that you filed for bankruptcy and requesting the registration be restored upon payment of the restoration fee. Now, a lot of people are worried about whether or not they'll be denied bankruptcy or not. Now, I'm not going to get into the specific chapters because that's beyond the scope of this video. You'll have to watch a future video where I discuss the difference between Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Chapter 7 is commonly known as a liquidation, which is not really true, and Chapter 13 is known as a wage earners plan, but that's beyond the scope of this video. The other myth that people are bothered by is that in addition to people will find out that you filed bankruptcy and you'll be considered a failure and you may be subject to discrimination, whether it's housing, employment, or whatever. Under Section 542 of the Code, nobody can do that. You would have a cause of action against somebody if you can prove there's been discrimination under the Bankruptcy Code. I do something for you that most attorneys won't. After you get your discharge in bankruptcy, I'm going to help you rebuild your credit. That's right. At no additional cost, I'm going to help you rebuild your credit. If you follow my guidance, which costs you nothing, you're going to have a fresh start, and your credit score, if you follow my guidance exactly, will probably be significantly better than what it is when you filed for bankruptcy, or what it was slightly before. Now, I can't guarantee a specific score, and I can't guarantee the level of credit you'll be at, but your credit will be much better and you will have a fresh start with a clean slate. Now, another myth about bankruptcy is that you can only file one time. That's not true. Hopefully you won't need to file bankruptcy a second time, but should you need to, you can file bankruptcy every 8 years. However, don't make a habit of that. Bankruptcy is there to protect you. It's your right under federal law, and every major religion recognizes it. And if someone thinks you're a failure because you filed bankruptcy, that's their problem. Countless A-list actors and very successful people have filed for bankruptcy. In fact, the person that's going to be the next president of the United States filed for bankruptcy 6 times. So don't let filing for bankruptcy discourage you. Filing for bankruptcy is a right under federal law, as I've said several times, and it's going to be what saves you from financial ruin. If you had credit card debt and you were to only make your minimum payments, you'd end up paying 2 to 3 times what you owe. This is Lenny the Lawyer, live, and if you have further questions or comments or want me to make other videos about bankruptcy, or you want to come in and obtain legal advice, in the comment section, ask me your questions, and to come to my office and get legal advice, not just information. We'll sit down and have a free consultation. Call my business cell at 201-625-2234 or call my office phone at 973-798-6131 and we will have a legal consultation. Again, on social media, there is no legal consultation. This video has been for information and educational purposes only. If you enjoyed this video and you're watching on YouTube so that other people can find me and I can help more people, please click on the subscribe button and the bell icon, and I'll be happy to help you and others. I know your time is valuable. I appreciate you spending it with me today, but you need to take action if you're in a financial situation where you're over your head or you can't manage it. Call me today at 973-798-6131. Thank you and have a great day.